I did not realize anything was wrong until I heard my own voice crying from the other side of the wall. It was past 2 in the morning, the kind of hour where houses settle and silence becomes loud enough to notice. I was sitting alone in my living room, laptop open, scrolling through old police transcripts for a documentary I was editing. Cold tea sat untouched beside me. My phone was face down. No television, no music, just the faint ticking of the kitchen clock. Then came the sound. A man sobbing, quiet at first, muffled like it was being dragged through plaster and brick. The voice was cracked, panicked, breathing in sharp gasps between words I couldn't quite hear. I froze instantly. Every muscle locked. The voice wasn't coming from outside. It was coming from inside the house. More specifically, from the spare room. I stood slowly, heart pounding, already knowing something wasn't right. I live alone. I always have. The spare room had been empty for months, used only for storage and the occasional guest. I hadn't been in there since before Christmas. The crying stopped. Then the voice spoke clearly. My name is Daniel Harper, it said. That was my name. I didn't move. I couldn't. My skin prickled as if something cold had pressed its palm against my spine. The voice continued, calm now, rehearsed. If anyone finds this, please tell my sister it wasn't an accident. I felt sick. Those words weren't random. I had said them once before, years ago, during a recorded witness statement after a fatal incident at work. That recording had never been released. It was sealed. Yet here it was, spoken perfectly, with my voice from a room that should have been empty. I forced myself to walk. Each step felt wrong, like the floor was tilting slightly beneath my feet. The spare room door was ajar. Light spilled from inside. I hadn't left a light on. I pushed the door open. The room was exactly as I'd left it. Boxes stacked neatly. A folded mattress against the wall. Dust undisturbed. No person, no speaker, no device, nothing. But the voice started again. This time it screamed. I staggered backwards, slamming the door shut and bolting it instinctively, though I had no idea what I was trying to keep in. The screaming cut off mid-breath. Silence returned. I didn't sleep that night. I sat on the sofa until morning, every light on, replaying the sound in my head. By dawn, I had convinced myself it was stress, audio hallucination, memory bleeding into imagination. I promised myself I wouldn't think about it again. That was my first mistake. 2 days later, my phone rang while I was at the supermarket. The number was unknown. I answered without thinking. I heard breathing. Slow. Wet. Familiar. Then my voice again. Daniel Harper was found at 3:14 a.m. The call ended. I dropped my phone. People stared. A woman asked if I was all right. I lied and said yes. I didn't tell anyone what had happened. Not the police. Not my family. I was afraid of how it would sound. That night, I checked my voicemail. There was one new message. It was dated 3 weeks in the future. I didn't play it. Instead, I searched my own name online. I wasn't famous. I didn't expect much. But what I found made my hands shake. A forum thread. Barely active. Titled, Unreleased Statements Case Archive. Inside were transcripts. Dozens of them. Each labeled with names, dates, locations. People who had disappeared. People who had died. Some were ruled accidents. Some suicides. Some unsolved. Every transcript ended the same way. If anyone finds this, please tell. The usernames posting them were all deleted. At the bottom of the thread was a new comment, posted an hour ago. My name. I shut the laptop so hard the screen cracked. That night, the spare room door opened by itself. I watched it happen from the hallway. Slowly, carefully, like someone didn't want to make a sound. The light inside switched on, and my voice began speaking again. Only this time it was telling a story I didn't remember living. It described a car crash on a rural road I'd never driven, a fight with a man I'd never met, blood on my hands, panic, running, hiding something heavy in water. The details were vivid, smells, textures, fear, regret, and yet I could see it. Every word painted images in my mind as if the memories were being installed directly into my head. When the voice stopped, something new happened. Another voice joined it. A woman's, crying softly. I recognized her instantly. My sister. She had died 4 years ago. I screamed and ran from the house barefoot into the street. I didn't stop until my lungs burned. I spent the night in my car, shaking, watching the house from across the road like it might follow me. In the morning, the police were there. They were knocking on my door. Apparently, a neighbor had reported hearing shouting. When I returned, an officer asked if I'd been home the previous night. I said no. He exchanged a look with his partner. "We've had a call," he said carefully. "From your number." He played the recording. It was my voice, calm and clear. "I'd like to report a body." The location given was accurate. They found the body that afternoon. It was a man reported missing 2 years ago. His death had been ruled an accident at the time. Now, new evidence suggested otherwise. Evidence I supposedly provided. Over the following days, more recordings surfaced. Calls, voicemails, audio files uploaded anonymously. All in my voice, all describing crimes I didn't remember committing. But here's the part that broke me. Every recording ended with genuine emotion, panic, remorse, fear. Things you can't fake easily. Things that sounded lived. I started to doubt myself. What if I had done these things? What if my mind had buried them? The spare room became unbearable. Sounds leaked from it constantly now. Not always voices, sometimes dragging, sometimes knocking, sometimes breathing right behind the door. I stopped opening it. Then the messages started coming directly to me. Emails dated from the future. Texts from unknown numbers. Files labeled with times that hadn't happened yet. One email subject read, "Your final statement." I didn't open it for 3 days. When I finally did, it contained a single audio file. I recognized the background noise immediately. It was my living room. I listened. It was me, whispering. I can hear them playing it back, over and over. I think they're building me from the recordings. I don't think I'm the original anymore. My blood ran cold. The file ended with a sound I had never heard before, a door locking from the outside. That night, I woke up on the floor of the spare room. The door was closed, the light was on, and something was sitting across from me, breathing. I couldn't see its face. It was shaped like a person, but wrong in the details. Its mouth moved slightly out of time with its breathing. Its chest rose too late. Its eyes reflected light strangely, like glass. It spoke, in my voice. It spoke, in my voice. "Thank you," it said. "Your statements were very helpful." I tried to scream, but my voice wouldn't work. It stood, movements jerky, unfinished, like it was still learning how to exist. As it passed me, I caught my reflection in the mirror. The reflection didn't move. The thing opened the door and stepped into the hallway. Before it left, it turned back. "If anyone finds this," it said softly, "please tell my sister." The door closed. When I woke again, it was morning. I was alone. The house was quiet. The spare room was empty. No boxes, no mattress, no dust, as if it had never existed. I ran to the mirror. I was still there, but my phone was gone. So was my voice. I tried to speak. Nothing came out. Later that day, I saw the news. A man had been arrested. He looked exactly like me. Same face, same name, same past. The headline read, "A confession recordings lead to breakthrough in cold cases." The final clip they played was his statement. Perfect, calm, convincing, and ending with words I will never forget. If anyone finds this, please tell them it was never meant to be heard. I have no voice now, but I'm writing this while I still exist, because I can hear them playing something new in the spare room.